Hello and welcome to B2B Purchase Procurement Talk. Crushing become an art for MB crushers. Let us hear from Piero Guizzetti about their latest innovations in crushing solutions. Sir, thank you so much for talking to B2B Purchase.
Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. This is our 10-year anniversary at XCon, 6th edition. The first one that we did was in 2015. And for us, it's by far the most important platform for creating awareness, for developing leads, and of course, for concluding deals. And the beautiful thing that I would like to say is when we started in 2015, it was a lot about education, brand awareness, introducing the product category. 2017 was the first year that we did the live demo at the event, which turned everything from a awareness kind of a discussion to a transactional kind of a discussion. So we went from, building awareness, education to closing deals at the event, which is of course very much what this is for trenching and hill cutting. Okay, this is essentially what we call a drum cutter. This model specifically is the R800, compatible with 10 to 22 ton class excavators. This is a beautiful machine because it gives you independence, like all our attachments, of course. The one unique factor, common denominator across our product portfolio is that you don't need any electricity, no generator, just your base machine excavator, which you would require for any other solution, whether it be a static crusher or track-mounted crusher to feed the hopper of those units. In this case, you're absorbing that same cost, those same 15 liters per hour, that same operator salary, and the same depreciation of the machine by turning a unit that was just maybe rock breaking, digging, moving materials to a full-blown crushing, trenching, screening unit. So this is the R800, and the main application for this is, again, trenching, so pipelines, utilities pipelines, gas pipelines, water pipelines, but also for hill cutting. Sometimes you'll have very remote jobs, remote road construction in remote areas of the country, very mountainous regions of the country. So in that case, sometimes with the government authority, you have the capability to source the stone directly from the hill or the mountain. And this is the perfect solution. Put it on the surface of the mountain and it comes out actually already almost a utilizable product. It's not very big lumps. So what the output of this is almost straight away reutilizable right then and there.
And the kind of steel which is used here must be of different quality or what?
Yes, this is tungsten steel, which is it's more or less an industry standard. I can't say that it's anything different because it's one of the hardest metals that you can have. The one unique factor, though, the USP that we have with this is we are the only brand in the world that has a direct drive dual motor with a priority valve. What does that mean? That means that whenever you're going underneath the surface, you never really know what you're going to encounter in terms of strength of the rock, of the strata, and so forth. And as a matter of fact, not only in the same layer of strata, you may have two completely different rock compositions on the right side, on the left side. So what this does is, if you find more resistance on this side, most drum cutters will stop and will give a lot of the stress on the boom, which may cause really a lot of downstream damage to the main capex, which is the base machine. In this case, the priority valves kicks in and with a smart, intelligent system, and it prioritizes more flow to this side so that it can better encounter that harder resistance, keeping the operation smoother and more efficient. This is the same thing as what we have in the demo area. It's a crusher, but this is for the loaders. So we call this MBL, so MB loader. It's a bucket crusher, right? Exactly same characteristics as the BF line, which is our main line. The only difference is that, again, we are doing, I think, something really tremendous in terms of adding utility to a backhoe loader even, which is a smaller machine, can work in really small areas, urban areas, and you can attach this and it becomes a full-blown crushing unit. The one factor on this is being a smaller machine, the mouth opening is 250. So we can absorb up to 200 mm or 150 to 170 mm on the input size. And the output setting, similar to the BF, can be adjusted according to the needs of the customer.
And it is compatible to almost all medium and small range of
everything. This one is 7 to 11 ton class backhoe loaders, but we have 4 different models that can be compatible to anything we have in the industry. In India, it's 80% 3DX market. This is the machine for that.
Wow, that's wonderful. And what are the major applications you see for this series?
Road construction. This is a beautiful machine that works really well, especially in the northern part of the country. We've got a very big installed base in Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Sikkim also, because there you have smaller size stones. A lot of people also move riverbed material and so forth with the government permission. Riverbed material, as we know, has a maximum limit. It goes up to only 180 mm. So we don't have to get into any of this rock splitting if the rock is too big. Perfect solution for the northern part of the country, but also we're starting to get some traction in the southern part as well. So this is the smaller brother of the BF90 that we see in the demo area. This is the BF60, compatible for 10 to 18 ton class excavators. In the BF line, which is our main bucket crusher series for excavators, We have 8 different models compatible from anywhere from your smallest excavator all the way to 70-ton class excavator for larger mines and quarries and so forth. Again, due to the factor of the base machine being the main variable for what we can sell, what model, India's 80% 21-ton class market. So the BF90 is the best-selling machine, but this is also beautifully this was the second machine actually that we launched after the BF90 in 2003. It's got a very beautiful weight distribution. It's got really capabilities to crush the hardest stone. And there is no limitation. You can crush the same size stones that you have with the BF90, up to 300 mm. So really with a smaller unit, you're able to do hardcore, heavy-duty operations on the crushing segment.
This all looks very heavy attachments. When it comes together, this looks very lightweight and looks like very aesthetic in terms of the design.
Yes.
What is it all about?
Well, we're Italian, so again, aesthetics will always be a little bit of a factor. But what's most important is, of course, what's inside the machine. Now, even though this may seem like a hollow machine, so lighter machine, it still is 2 tons in terms of weight. Why? Because we don't compromise on any of the materials we use. So we're the only people in the industry that use Hardox for the mesh itself. As you see, this is a 10 mm thick mesh Hardox material. So we are very keen on ensuring that everything that the material touches touches our machine is made of Hardox. So we can ensure longevity, less consumables, less issues for the customer. This is 2.3 cubic meters in terms of screening chambers. Now what we do due to the tipping constraints and weight limitations, we suggest the customers to fill this 50% with 50% of the material. Also because it allows the rotation to filter out the material that is smaller than the mesh size that the customer asks us to properly come out, and we get a greater productivity. So the cycle time is about 60 seconds. Let's say when you fill it at 50%, you're doing 1.1 cubic meters of material, considering a density of 2 tons of material per cycle into 60. That's 120 tons you can do per hour. Another factor that I would like to emphasize on the S18 is that really this is a zero maintenance machine. We've had this S18 since we've started operating in India. So you can consider the first machine would have been sold 12 years ago when we started in India. No issues have happened and they're still running very smoothly. We now have even a secondary market because the longevity of the machine is so much so that customers that have used it for 6-7 years sell it to other customers, and they are again working it and using it for another 5-6-7 years without any problem.
And the screen, is it customizable that a customer can request you to give different sizes of screen?
That's a very good question, Prasad. So we have our own standard measurements from 10 to 80 mm with intervals of 10 mm. We have those ready in stock. If you want something unique, so at this event, actually, we closed an order. Somebody that wanted 150 mm, we have to go ahead and may take a little bit more for the production time to be there, but we can do anything that the customer requires. The only thing we don't do is nothing below 10 mm, because what happens there is there's a risk that if there's any damp or wet material, it clogs the holes and then nothing will come out of the mesh. They're interchangeable. So one customer can literally can buy one base machine, and can buy 3 different sets of meshes, and can have 3 different screening parameters configured to their base machine.
So how do you see that Indian aggregate industry or mining industry is adopting these latest developments and latest technology-driven solutions?
Yeah. So for us, one thing that we're very proud of is that I do genuinely believe that in a couple of cases, literally we were the only solutions, BRO projects up in the north, in the really mountainous region. There was one particular installation where literally we had to disassemble the entire machine. With a rope, we had to send it to the other side of a valley. There was no road connectivity. And it was the only way that that contractor was able to get GSB and WMM and build that road. So really in terms of, Prime Minister Modi is really emphasizing connectivity throughout the Indian market. This is one machine that really enables you to be in the farthest distant areas and remote areas of the country, not having to transport back and forth GSB from the closest static crusher site. So it saves on the environment because you're not trucking. It saves on your costs and it improves your efficiency, of course.
Is there any advanced material coming into play?
Yes. So even the jaw plate that we have here, we are one of the few companies that can put in writing and guarantee that there will be manganese content in the jaw plate. Manganese, if you know, is a self-hardening material. Means if I, with a new jaw plate right now, take a chisel and bang on it, there will be a dent right now. After 50 hours of use, if I try to do it with the biggest chisel in the world, nothing will happen to it. So it's really a very expensive material. But of course, the jaw being the main part of the crushing chamber that is in touch with the material is the most expensive consumable if you want also. It's the part that wears out the most. So we want to ensure that we are fair to the customer and we give them the best quality materials.
In our last interaction, you shared about your commitment towards sustainability and your carbon zero targets what you are created for your organization.
Correct.
Can you give us an update about where are you in terms of those declarations?
Well, I'll give you the example of demolition, for example. Demolition is one application where we started cracking into it in the last about 2 years ago. And demolition, what used to happen is you had demolition contractors that, demolished the bridge, let's say. And that material that was demolished essentially was a cost to them because they had to dispose of it. Hopefully in a landfill. If not, literally was just disposed in a random manner. With our machines, you're able to completely and immediately recycle that machine. And as we know, the Indian government has imposed now the reuse of 30% of any waste material or any construction, demolished material. With our machine, you can use 100% of that. So I think we're contributing very much to the recycling, reuse of all the materials and optimizing everything that has already been used that can be reused.
Wonderful, and thank you so much for interacting with us and sharing more details about your range of products.
Thank you.